What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 76 now of the Leeds United career mode. Two more games in today's episode for you as we take on Manchester United and then take on Norwich United. Coincidentally, I actually sat second in the league table. We are sat 17 points clear of the Manchester club and look to make that even further with a win here in the opening game of today's episode. If we can get that, that'll move us on to 20 points clear of Manchester United, which 17 or 18 games into the season is absolutely mental. And I have to say as well, this team just looks absolutely unbelievable. It's just crazy to see the fact of how many points we are clear at the moment. And on top of that as well, in terms of Champions League, we've dominated our group and look comfortable because we've got actually FC Porto in the next round, which will be played February time in-game. Of course, February time in real life as well. If you didn't miss, or if you have missed it, the actual Champions League final group games went ahead this week, just gone. And it means that we've got 3 English clubs into the next round. Unfortunately, Spurs have in fact been knocked out, which means we won't have a 4th English club in there. But we've still got 3 as well, and the draw is to come next Monday at the time of recording this. It'll be uploaded on Friday, so it's Monday coming that the draw will be in real life. But in our draw, we obviously got FC Porto, which will be happening hopefully in a few episodes' time. And I cannot wait to get our first knockout phase Champions League game underway. And hopefully as well, we'll get a result and move on to the next round. But coincidentally here as well against Manchester United, we have a number of ex-Manchester United players against them. Here's Martial, Bailly, we've got Januzaj, we've got a number of ex-Manchester United players coming up here and facing their former club here at Ellen Road. So, looking at that, I'm hoping that one of them can make the difference. And in particular as well, guys, it could be Anthony Martial making the difference. We all know how incredible the forward is and how incredible he's been for us as well so far. And we all know that it's actually a mistake Manchester United letting him go. Obviously, he went on a free contract over here to Ellen Road and we didn't pay any money for him. But you cannot let a player of Anthony Martial's quality run down his contract here. And, if you do, you're asking for revenge when he does in fact come back and play against you. But Ellen Road here, it was actually a tough game, this one, going into today's episode. And Januzaj actually got the first chance for ourselves, giving it into the former Manchester United, or ex-former, well, I guess they're both former Manchester United man there in the form of Martial. His header, though, was straight at David De Gea. I was a bit disappointed with that one. I hoped he could sort of put it either side of the goalkeeper, not straight at him. And then Man United got a big chance to take the lead in this game. A very poor defending error for me. I should not have gone to make the tackle there. And Juan Mata goes down in the penalty area. I have to say, I thought it was on the edge of the area originally. Emre Can giving away the penalty, and this is the first big chance in the game, in all honesty, apart from that Anthony Martial header. It wasn't a great header from him, and if he scores that, we're comfortable. But Paulo Dybala stepping up against Bernard Leno. Leno trying to make himself look big, and I guess the right way. And for the second time in a few episodes, we've saved again a penalty against a Manchester club. Obviously, a few episodes ago, it was Paul Pogba for Manchester City. Here today, though, it's Paulo Dybala for Manchester United. So it's 2 penalty saves by Bernard Leno in a very short number of episodes. He then made another save there in the 63rd minute to keep us still 0-0 in this game. Manchester United had their chances, but there was really only ever going to be one man who was going to change the outcome of this game. And you can guarantee, you all know who it's going to be. Here's Januzaj on the right-hand side, gives it into Emre Can. Emre Can into Anthony Martial, who turns and hits the strike goalwards and absolutely rifles one into the back of the net. When this went in originally, I was a bit surprised because he didn't really hit it. With a lot of, cleanliness, like I want to say. It wasn't a clean hit from him, but it went in the back of the net nonetheless. And to beat a goalkeeper of David De Gea's quality like that is incredible. You can see as well, we actually got a rare achievement there from Xbox. I've never had an achievement like that before. It was you have to play 10 passes or more in the opposition half and then score a goal from it, which I did there in this one. But this strike from Anthony Martial, guys, it just had to be Martial, didn't it? It just had to be him. David De Gea can't quite reach it. It means that we're 1-0 up in this game. And Manchester United had a number of chances to take the lead in this one, and they were made to rue it there from an ex-player. And that's so close, actually, from David De Gea as he tried to save there. So Anthony Martial, number 7 for us, gets us underway here. 84 minutes into a game in which we could have easily lost this one, I have to say. Manchester United had their chances. That penalty save from Bernard Leno coming in absolutely clutch for us as well. So credit to Bernard Leno. But United look to get themselves back on level terms instantly from kickoff. A cross was put in. Eric Bailly wins the header against his former club. Comes to Eriksen. Eriksen to Martial. Martial into Divock Origi. Origi back to Martial. I really have no idea as to what happened there. I think it's Chris Smalling makes the mistake. Get through with Anthony Martial, and that is just a really tidy finish. And David De Gea again should really be saving that, in my opinion, but he's not saved it there. That was one of those ones where it was actually a low-driven shot, that one, but I was unfortunately not able to put too much power behind it because I knew David De Gea was actually coming out on goal and was looking as if he was going to make the save there, but he didn't manage to do it. We pick up a second goal for ourselves, and in a game that didn't look, convincing in terms of victory, the scoreline's going to say otherwise, because a 2-0 victory against Manchester United is a very convincing win. But if you look at the amount, the stats and everything that happened in the game, it could have easily been the other way. Manchester United, like I said, had their chances to get themselves something out of this game, but they were unable to do so, and it was the former player of Anthony Martial that came back to haunt the Manchester club. I'm probably actually saying Martial's name. I say Martial sometimes, say Martial. I've said every name under the sun, to be honest with you, and I genuinely apologise if I'm butchering his name. I think what I'm going to do now is just try and stick to one rather than saying two different kind of ways. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. Is it Martial? Martial? I don't know. But anyways, I'll just keep calling it, and hopefully I'm not butchering it completely, and you guys are getting so frustrated. I understand it could be very annoying when someone says a name wrong that you know is just completely wrong. But again, I struggle. I really can't, I have no idea how you actually say his name properly. So I'm just going to keep calling that, for example. But we took on Norwich here for the second game of today's episode. After that victory there against Manchester United, we are absolutely storming away in the Premier League. It looks simple for us at the moment, and again, that's credit to the side that you guys have built, because a lot of these players are suggestions that you guys made in the comments below. So thank you all so much for your comments that you've left on the series so far, and hopefully they'll keep coming. But this game against Norwich was an absolute cracker of a game, and I have to say, going into this, I was not expecting what happened in this game. This is going to be arguably the best game we've had all season long so far. We went over to Carrow Road to take on the Norwich, and don't get me wrong, they have a semi-decent team. They're sat in 13th at the moment. They're doing quite well for themselves in terms of the Premier League. We're still sat 17 points clear at the top of the table, so this should be, in theory, a comfortable game for us. As you can see, actually, Poulsen has scored the third most Premier League goals in the league so far, and it's unfortunate as well because Anwar El Ghazi's still injured, and he's actually the top scorer of the Premier League. So if Poulsen gets one here, he will move closer to Anwar, meaning that when Anwar does eventually come back from injury, we're going to have to try and score some goals with him. But having said that, Anthony Martial is fast approaching Anwar El Ghazi's goal tally here at Leeds, and Martial could even actually overtake forward in that one, and hopefully, we'll end up with a golden boot to one of the two forwards by the end of this season. But it was actually Norwich who took the lead in this one. An absolutely crazy goal to concede. Malumbu here gives it inside to Pritchard. What a strike that is from the midfielder. It comes back though, and who else but Poulsen to make it 1-0 to Norwich here in this game. A very, very good effort originally by Pritchard. I was a bit disappointed that it came back off the bar and hit it straight into Poulsen. I was a bit annoyed at that one, but there's nothing you can do in that situation. A very tidy finish from Poulsen, and that's why he scored 12 goals now in the Premier League. And then into the 10th minute we went. We gave away a free kick here stupidly, but the free kick was so poor by Grenier. He put it into an area which was an easy win on the head for as it comes to Anthony Martial. Martial gets the ball past one player, gives it inside to Emre Moore. Moore's going to use his pace to his advantage here. I was about to play it inside, but chose not to in the end. Eventually, I get through with Emre Moore, and when you've got Emre Moore in that position, a low-driven shot makes it 1-1 here. So already 13 minutes into the game, and there's been 2 goals, and this was shaping up to be an absolute goal fest, this one. And Norwich, came to their credit, came at me from minute 1. They was not interested in sitting back and watching me play football. They wanted to have a go in this game, and it took right until the 43rd minute for anything else to happen. Martial again takes a strike on. What a save that is by the goalkeeper. It comes to Suso. Suso's cross is a bit bad, but in the end, Martin puts it straight behind for a corner. He didn't need to do so. It's a bit of a lack of communication there. Suso with the short corner into Emre Moore. Moore back to Martin's Indy. Indy into Anthony Martial. Martial spins and takes a strike on, but unfortunately was not able to put that in the back of the net. But second half came, and 52 minutes into it, Dendoncker on the ball into Ross Barkley. Barkley into Suso. Suso into Martial, and Martial, what a strike that is from the number 7 to get us back in the lead here. When I say back in the lead, we were never leading this game. It was Norwich who actually led this game, but for the first time in the game then, we were in fact leading, and it came through our star man here in Anthony Martial. A lovely, curling finish, I guess you could call it, into that corner of the goal. The keeper didn't really have too much of a chance in saving that when he tried his hardest. You can see he reached so far, but wasn't able to make the save, and it meant that we were leading this game by 2-1. However, 5 minutes later, Norwich got them back, or they've got themselves back on level terms. A shot there came in, it was blocked by my defender, and then from the corner, it's an extremely poor defending corner, this one. I hate defending corners in this game. I find it so frustrating. My players, both in Ultimate Team and in this Leeds United career mode, cannot seem to win a header to save their lives. My player falls over in the box, gives it to Yusuf Malumbu, and he makes it 2-2. An extremely poor defensive error by me, and I really should get better at defending in this game. It's so poor. But 64 minutes in, Anthony Martial again gets into position to take the strike on, and an absolutely wonderful finish back across the goalkeeper. The defender gave me a little bit too much space and time there, and when you've got a player of Anthony Martial's quality, he can do that to you. So the number 7 again has been an absolute star since coming over from Manchester United. He got 2 in the last one there against United, and he's got 2 so far in this one as we look to try and get 3 points out of this game. It was a crazy game to play, and like I said, credit Norwich because they were in this from minute 1 and really wanted to have a good go here, but they kept giving me the ball away a little bit too easily. They were trying to get themselves an equalising goal and looked as if they were just trying to rush things a bit too much, and Ross Barkley, a lovely spin into the path of Anthony Martial. Martial gets into position to simply slide that one past the goalkeeper, and again, you cannot give him that much time and space in the box, and that is Anthony Martial's hat-trick now, as he made it 4-2 to us in the 85th minute, and that looks as if that's going to wrap up the 3 points from this game. But It was a very tough game. Don't take anything away from Norwich. They played absolutely brilliantly all game long, and they really deserved at least a draw out of this game. But when you've, like I said, got a player of Anthony Martial's quality, it doesn't matter who you have around him, because at the end of the day, you give him the ball, and he will put that ball in the back of the net, as he's done 3 times for us in this game. And again, Norwich giving the ball away sloppily, trying to force things. It's not needed in this one. Obviously, if they had taken a little bit more time, maybe it would have had a different outcome. Martial looking for a 4th goal in the game, unable to find it there, but eventually we get it back to Suso. Suso then ends up curling one into the top corner. Lovely touch past the defender, and then absolutely curls that one into, I say curls, it was sort of a nice finish in the end from the number 30, a very, very tidy one into the top corner, and it was a very disappointing game in the end. The way to end this for Norwich, end it 5-2, is a very, very disappointing result, because like I said, they didn't deserve to get absolutely smashed here. They deserved at least a point out of this game for the credit and the heart that they showed in this one, but they were unable to get anything out of them. And at the end of the day as well, you know, the title winning sides are the ones that can be absolutely ruthless in front of goal. If you get 5 shots and you don't score at least, you know, 2 or 3 of those shots, you don't deserve to win the title at the end of the day, and that's what we've done here. You know, we've had a number of strikes and we've scored 5 goals and we've been ruthless. We've absolutely taken Norwich to the sword here. Yes, they were good, and yes, they got themselves back on level terms, you know. To get themselves back on level terms is a credit to them, and even take the lead is even better. But when you've got a side like this here at Leeds, you have to be winning these games, and that's what we've managed to do here. You can see 5-2 victory on the day. Anthony Martial with the hat-trick picks himself up the match ball, and we came out deserved winners in that one. So guys, we are coming towards the end of this episode. We are also in the January transfer window. You guys have left some suggestions in previous episodes, and I will be looking at those suggestions as well to try and sign them in January. But at this current moment in time, we're actually only sitting on about £10 million in the transfer budget. So I'm going to have to sort of consider what I want to do and see what I can do. We are actually sat 20 points clear as well in the league table. It's just mad. We accept an offer here for Liam Cooper. That takes us, just like I said, to over the £10 million budget. So we've got a little bit of money to work with. Nothing too spectacular, but we may get a few offers in for players. We just have to wait and see what we'll do in regards to that one as well. But hopefully you've all enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. If you have, smash the like button. And as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for the support you're showing on the channel. And as always, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you all for the next episode very soon. Adios.